Hello, I'm at the 2023 North American International Detroit Auto Show, and parked behind me is a 2024 Jeep Gladiator Mojave. Sit back as I do a quick walk around of some of the key features of the 2024 Gladiator Mojave. Okay, let's take a closer look at this 2024 Jeep Gladiator Mojave. So the first thing that's just really striking are these rims. I really like that wagon wheel, that spoke look. I think that looks terrific on this Mojave. So those are 285 70R17 tires with a 17-inch rim. The Mojaves are typically come with a rim that well, they stick out about a 1/4 inch further from your Gladiator Rubicon, and so what that's trying to do is just give you a wider footprint. Say for example, if you're running through sand, or again, the Mojave is intended to be a high-speed off-road vehicle versus, say, the Rubicon, which is more of a rock crawling intent. So in terms of form and function, the function of this is just intended to be, give somebody that broader, more stable footprint. So I'd like to also kind of talk about what really separates the Mojave from so many other vehicles, and that's that huge shock. That's a Fox 2.5 inch shock, and it's got a remote reservoir line right here that runs all the way down to this remote reservoir. So that gives you a lot more capacity for your shock fluid, which is going to fight the likelihood that you run into a scenario where you start to encounter shock fade, and that's where you get bubbles in your shock fluid, and then you start to lose the benefit of that shock dampening. So anyways, what you're buying when you're buying a Mojave is an off-road vehicle that's engineered to take bumps and just rough terrain at a faster rate of speed. So you're also getting a taller spring on the Mojave. You're getting a taller spring, and inside of that spring, so I'll try to get the camera in here. You may or may not be able to easily see it, but I'm telling you, now you can see it. Inside of here, that is a Fox jounce bumper. And what that is intended, so that's a fluid-filled jounce bumper, and that's going to keep you from, when you do bottom out, you bottom out in such a way that you're bottoming out with an additional component of suspension, and that is that fluid-filled jounce bumper. Okay, so moving forward here, one thing that just jumps out at me is this steel bumper. These were traditionally referred to as the Rubicon steel bumper, but now they're on a Mojave. One reason that they weren't on the Mojave was just the weight. They wanted to keep that sprung weight down on this Mojave so that they could just keep this front end as light as possible. But I see, and I'll show you in a minute, that they made some changes with the shocks, not the shocks, but the springs, I believe. All right, as well, continuing with the trend that's happened here is this 24 has a different grille. This grille was designed so that it could incorporate a winch, and I got to say, there's a lot of space here. So for those guys that are putting winches on their Gladiators or their Wranglers, it's just going to be a lot easier. They're just going to have more room to just sink that winch in there and not have the interference with the grill. So let's talk about that. They changed the height of these grills, this 7-slotted grill, and it does appear that that this is a whole slot, but really it's not. It's going to allow airflow here, 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 here. So Jeep's they engineered this in such a way that they're able to create just as much airflow. Actually, I believe I heard that it creates more airflow from a Jeep engineer. So, take that for what it's worth. Okay, trail cam, and let's keep going around here. Traditionally, the steel bumper wasn't allowed, or it just wasn't even an option for the Mojaves. But I noticed on this fact sheet that Jeep put out here that there's a 1-inch front suspension lift for increased jounce travel. And I'm just connecting the dots here, but it would make sense that when they added the option of either this is standard or it's an option, but when they added that steel bumper, they probably changed that spring rate and maybe the spring height of that front spring just to accommodate that weight. So let's go ahead and continue our walk around here. So obviously, one thing is we have the antenna delete right there, and that's because on 2024, all antennas are integrated into the windshield. So I think that's great. If you want that cleaner look. Okay, so just to continue on with the windshield, I'll point out that in the center or in front of the mirror would be your adaptive cruise sensors and radar. Excuse me, and radar. So at the bottom, you've got your rock rail there at the bottom, and it's intended if you get encumbered on an obstacle, it'll just slide off. This is a first for Jeep. This is a first instance in which Jeep has these 12-way powered seats. Lumbar support. The grab handle and these gauges have pushed out a little bit further as well. Just a great look to this dash. I'll point out that there's a new center channel speaker. You've got two little rubber matted trays here on the left and the right, and I believe that they're going to have mounting points there for additional gear such as your camera holder. As well, we've got the 12.3-inch screen that includes up to 200 off-road trails and maps inside that software. Adaptive cruise control box right here. Okay, now additionally, Jeep was to have made some changes as it related to sound quality and sound deadening inside this. So you're supposed to have more sound deadening, I believe, in the windshield frame itself. A different speaker array that's going to do a better job of creating a quality phone call, for example, if you're on the highway. So this module appears to be different to me some way, somehow. But one thing that I know is different on the 2024s would be these side curtain airbags. This is the passenger side. And as I kind of fall around the top here, here's the driver's side curtain airbag. I believe that there was there's supposed to have been a change with these grab handles as well. So I believe that has an airbag incorporated into that. That has a different feel altogether. Okay. Let's see. Kind of move to the back here. Now there was some talk whether the Gladiator would have a different top or a new top in the back, and I've read and heard some talk about changes there, but it doesn't appear that I mean this top just appears to be your body color match top. That's been traditional on the Gladiators in the past year. Okay, there's insulated liner. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's an insulated liner right there. I'm not sure, but this speaker combination may be different right there in the back. Let's continue our walk around. All right, let's talk about these rear shocks. So again, we've got the Fox 2.5-inch shock, and this has a piggyback reservoir. So I'll try to get a better angle for you here. Anyways, massive shocks. You're going to notice that you have these rear quarter panel skids, which that's steel. That was previously only available on the Rubicon. I think it's great they have it on the Jeep. We have a steel bumper here. That is the steel bumper. I recognize it. It's really hard to see the difference between a plastic one or a steel one, but a couple cues. Now this is a plastic top right here, but the molding on this is a little bit different on the traditional plastic bumper, which, I mean, you still get protection and it's just lighter, but there's something about a steel bumper that gives you that extra girth and strength when you are off-roading, and if you hit, I don't know, some kind of obstacle hits your bumper, there's some comfort in that. As well, the steel bumper has just a different carve out right here. I believe it's this angle. So as you, if you were comparing this to a plastic bumper, those are a couple cues. This angle and the molding right in this area, it's different on the, and you can more easily tell. Okay, so just includes a bed liner. Nice tonneau cover. All right. So as we make it around to the driver's side, just a couple things that we'll wrap this review up with. Our doors. Again, 12-way power seats. So really do like that leather look on that dash. All right, the Mojave does have a little bit different steering wheel. It's designed to have these thumb bumps right here, just to, so as you're driving through rough terrain, you could just more readily, know where your hand is on that steering wheel as you're driving, just to grab those thumb bumps. As well, the Mojave is known for seats that have a little bit more bolstering to keep you planted in the seat. The Mojave's got the rear axle locker only, the off-road plus button, which you can engage in 4-wheel high on the Mojave. Traditionally, you couldn't engage that in 4-wheel high on a Rubicon. And vents and 12.3 screen. That completes my walk around of the 2024 Jeep Gladiator Mojave. Thanks for joining, and have a great day.